I'm not going to even attempt a bad set of rap lyrics, so
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so do I.
Music. Well, hi there. Happy Wednesday. It's June 26, 2019, and I'm Eric, talking at you as always from beautiful downtown Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, where they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, unless you're waiting for your cardiologist.
It makes it beat harder. A little more sense of urgency.
Hey, Gord.
How you doing, Eric?
Remember how we used to do a show together? We should try that again. That was fun.
We should definitely do that sometime. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, man, have I missed this. I've been going absolutely batty without it. Hello, world. Thanks for joining us, the few of you who are still with us. Welcome to...
I officially understand what it's like to miss your therapist.
Yeah, right? And there was so much I needed to talk to you about that... It's just been insane. So I'm really glad we're back. Big things happening. Good equipment. Finally, we're not going to have a problem anymore. We fixed the sound issues, I think. Everything's
excellent.
So hi. Actually, before I get to that, I wanted to say, first of all, I do have to thank our brand new associate producer, Adrian Segur. Is it Segur? Segur? Do you know
Segur.
Adrian Segur.
Segur.
He is now officially an associate producer here on What If We're Right. So we'll be contacting him for his thoughts and opinions occasionally. And he's more than welcome to call in and offer them whenever he likes. And that's going to be possible from now on because we can take calls and stuff pretty soon. Starting tomorrow.
Oh, that is super exciting.
And we have, on the week off, I never actually take a week off. So what I've done is I've spent the week developing what I call the NMFA podcasting technology.
The NMFA.
That's right. I developed it myself.
What is that?
It's the no more fucking around technology. It's very complicated. But it involves me trying to act like a freaking professional once in a while. And getting the most out of our podcasting equipment. Sorry, I'm a little out of sorts. I'm rusty. We got...
Is it a weird thing that I've actually, because I did that one guest appearance on the other podcast, that I'm actually a little more in tune with this than you are right now?
That's very cool. I haven't even had the chance to hear it yet. Is it up?
I'm going to be honest, I haven't heard it yet either.
I will check it out. I apologize. I haven't had the ability to even listen to a podcast, let alone broadcast one, so you can't imagine what this week has been like. I had no phone, no computer. I was completely cut off from the world. It was terrible.
That must have been very frustrating.
But I did see an old friend of mine, an old colleague who listens to the show, apparently.
Yeah.
And I got what I think is the best review we've ever gotten so far.
Nice.
He's a gentleman I respect quite a bit. And he came up to me and he said, there is a lot of really good ideas in there. And I said, well, thank you. He goes, and you have to sift through a lot of shit to get to them.
Which means we're great for politics.
I just thought that is exactly the best review we could have got. You got to sit through a lot of shit, but you get to a good idea every once in a while. And I thought, that's pretty much what we're going for. Kind of hit the nail
almost
on the head.
Nailed it. Yeah, exactly.
But very cool that he's a fan. And we have, even in our absence, we lost a couple fans, I'm not going to lie. Hopefully we can drag them back. But
that's something I've actually wondered. How is what do you mean that we lost? How did we lose numbers? It just means that people just weren't listening to previous episodes?
I guess so, yeah. Our listenership dropped to just over 5,000.
Well, that's okay. That just means that 5,000 we're catching up on some of the older stuff, which I'm cool with.
The
new ones just want new equipment, so that's okay. We can get them the new shit.
I absolutely hope that's what it was. I can't pull up our stats right now here, but there is a whole bunch of new cities popping up, which is so super cool to me.
Very awesome.
All over the States, just huge, and all over Canada. Some weird place called Milton. There's been some people listening.
Yeah, baby. Have we actually hit more than like 2 people in this town?
I will have to look that up. I'm not too sure.
Oh, it's exciting. I'd like to know who's been listening here.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. And we had our first entry into our logo competition, which is very cool.
And they're really good.
Yeah, they are. They're amazing. That's all from one person. And she just knocked it out of the park. I was a little bit jealous, actually. Yeah,
it was very, very impressive. Now, like, the actual logo that she came up with, did she come up with that too?
No, that was mine. I had done, because I wanted to make T-shirts. Remember, I put up last week before all this shit hit the fan, I put up a thing that said T-shirt idea.
Yep.
And yeah, she went with that and used that for her logos, which is creative and awesome. So, way to go. She is in Peachland here in British Columbia.
There's a town called Peachland.
There is. And
that is
Peach, and she belongs there. We've got listeners now in Indianapolis, Halifax, Highland Park, Tennessee, Kansas City, and then the usual suspects, Vancouver, Brandon, North Vancouver, Halifax, which I think is cool. Then going a little further, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Norway, Indonesia, and Brazil.
Oh, we've got some Brazil. That's awesome.
So, very cool. While we did drop a little bit in numbers, we got some obviously new listeners in new places, which I love. So tell me where you're at and why you listen to the show. It's eric@ericandgord.com, and those emails are going to mean the world in the next recording session here, the next, say, 6 months. Any contribution email, Facebook hits especially, all going to look really good. So if you guys could pitch in a little bit, the show just gets bigger and better every time you help it get that way.
That's right.
That's about all I'm going to do about that for now.
That's really exciting. Holy crap.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I cannot get over how international we are. That's just fucking wild.
It's crazy. And we're about to get real big in China. Trust me. So just in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's time for the show to come up with one single logo that's going to define us for a long, long time. And we're certainly not capable of handling that responsibility. So we're putting it on you guys. You can choose some of the logos I've designed over the last year and pick your favorite to be our permanent logo, or you can design your own and send it into ericandgord.com or Facebook or Instagram, or we'll just throw it on the net somewhere. I'll find it. Winners are going to get a fantastic prize, which is going to be announced at probably the end of next week. And your logo, or your choice of our logo, will become the new permanent identification for Eric and Gord, which I'm very excited about having one. I already have my favorites, but if the next entries are anything like the ones we've already gotten, my opinion is going to change a lot.
By the way, I'm not going to mention this specifically on the air, but when we're done the show, I have an idea for a possible prize.
Very cool.
And I would rectify this one up as a pretty big one. So I'll talk to you about it off the air, and
Very
I'll see what you think.
Very excited to hear about that. What was the other topic I wanted real quick? Oh yeah, that's all I had, really. But I did have an interesting week, and I've been dying to get to talk to you about it, because I sat down with the very loud Chinese gentleman that ruined our podcasts on a regular basis.
Oh, really?
I decided to speak to them, and they blew my frickin' mind.
Really?
Just turned my whole world completely upside down. What happened? There was a Chinese language newspaper sitting on the table in front of me, and one of these guys came up and grabbed it, and I said, "Hey, how do you know I'm not reading that?" And the whole room burst out laughing. That was a good one.
That's a good intro. That's good.
But he sat down and he said, "Do you want to know what it says?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I do." he looked kind of surprised, and he the first thing out of his mouth was he said, every single bit of news that the Western media tells us about China is a lie. He said the Epoch Times is one of the worst.
The which?
The Epoch Times, the one I've been quoting for a year, saying it's my favorite.
Oh,
he
really?
One of the worst. He says we don't get a single word of truth regarding China, whatsoever.
Oh.
Which kind of took me by surprise. I'm not going to lie.
Well, that is very interesting because I'd like to know what. I'd love to know what the differences are. What's the line?
He says, in his estimation, probably 97% of the Chinese population is very insanely happy right now. Xi Jinping is the best leader they've ever had. They're enjoying more freedom and luxury than they've ever had in their lives, and anything to the contrary is just not true.
So, did you happen to ask him then why is he here?
He's just here because he came here like 40 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But he said they are free to travel back and forth. That's not true. He can go home whenever he wants to.
I didn't know that was a thing that they couldn't.
And he says he does quite often. The thing that really caught me off guard, I said, well, what about the Falun Gong and the persecution of the Falun Gong? And he said they don't recognize the People's Republic of China as their government. They don't follow any of their laws. They refuse to recognize them as the official government. That's why they're being persecuted. He said, what do you expect the Chinese government to do to you if you don't follow their laws, you don't listen to them, you don't obey them, you pretend they don't exist? They're going to come down hard on you. He said, everyone in China has complete religious freedom. But if you're going to be a dick to an evil communist, that's what's going to happen. So he said, all they have to do is admit that he's their leader, and they'd be fine. They can do whatever the hell they want.
They just have to admit that he's the leader.
They have to admit, they don't recognize the government. They don't acknowledge it as their government. So they don't follow any of the laws. They don't pay any of the taxes. They don't do anything they're supposed to do. So they get picked on.
So as long as you pay your taxes.
Well, it's not just a money thing. It's these people don't recognize, so they don't, get their driver's licenses or whatever it may be, anything legal, they don't follow.
Really?
Because they don't recognize it as their law because they don't recognize the communist government as their government. So they're like those free men that we have here?
Yeah.
They're like that.
Holy shit, really?
That's why they're being persecuted.
Oh.
That makes perfect sense. I'd persecute them too. They're just flagrantly breaking the law. He said religious freedom is huge there. Everyone has religious freedom. He says it's stupid to think otherwise.
Are they allowed to publicly speak out against their government?
They are, but they don't. They just don't.
I always remember hearing this story about there's in some square in central China, there's this park, and in this park is a little podium box thing.
Right.
And this box is meant for the citizens to be able to stand up and say whatever they want, as long as it's not against the main religion, against government,
right,
or complaining about your family.
Yeah, I didn't even think to ask because he said nobody complains about the government. It's the best government they've ever had. Corruption has been completely eliminated basically, and there really can't be corruption because they're all appointed. Like the next three leaders, he gets to pick the next three leaders that follow him, so he really can't have rigged elections.
Huh. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it was really... Now, I don't know. Maybe he's just a really good propaganda agent. But
see, because that's what you got to assume. Got to assume with the whole thing.
Well, and they've sent these people to come speak to Eric and Gord. Like, that's why he singled me out, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. They're probably specifically placed in that place just to get your attention.
I would think so. I knew they were going to start watching me sooner or later. I didn't think they'd be quite so obvious about it. Just fill a room that I'm sitting in with 30 of them. That seems a little ostentatious. But we
are talking about China. They got like how many billion people in that country? I mean, yeah, they can afford 30.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, they're not going to miss them.
No, fuck no.
The one thing that it did blow my mind is if you've followed, and this is right up our alley, which is I thought it was great. He brought it up, the pollution issue, because their air quality was so terrible, and it's improved rather drastically in a very short period of time under Xi Jinping's rule. And I thought they had a really unique approach to the pollution problem, and it's one that I would really like to institute here. They set out a set of guidelines for companies to follow. And do you know what he does to the companies that don't follow them?
What?
He shuts them down. You're no longer a company. Bye. He's shut down 120,000 companies for not following regulations, pollution regulations. That's how he deals with the pollution problem. You're not going to follow it? Your company doesn't exist anymore. See ya.
Holy shit, that's impressive.
That's fantastic, isn't it? That's a good... No more cap and trade. You just don't exist anymore. I thought that's brilliant. There's no skirting the law. There's no finding a loophole. You do or you're done. And I just thought, now that doesn't sound terrible to me. That's not dictatorship. That's just getting things done. That's taking care of business. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? Pollution got better. Oh, wow. People who actually do stuff and then things get better. What a novel concept.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
When a government actually enacts something that's effective, things change.
You see, it's interesting because, though, that puts things in a different perspective when it comes to Trudeau, ironically, because Trudeau has always been saying, I really like what he's been doing in China, and he's been saying that, and everybody here has been like, he promotes China, he thinks we should all be dictators, we should do this and this, and everybody's saying a bad thing. Now it's starting to make a little bit of sense.
Now, the final point that was just the nail in the coffin for my love affair with this gentleman, and I will be talking to him as much as humanly possible. He said, we got to build that pipeline. We got to build it now. Because here's the deal. The China owns most of the Iranian oil fields.
Yeah.
But if you bomb them, if the U.S. decides to go in and bomb them, they won't rebuild them. They'll just abandon them. So they won't buy Iranian oil anymore if America invades. Now, they've also said that they won't buy American oil if America invades. So that leaves Russian and Canadian oil. We could basically sell China 100% of their oil. But it takes too long to get to them without that pipeline. So they won't buy it if we don't have that pipeline. But we're just idiotic not to be jumping on this right now. Get it?
Well, the whole concept of not doing the pipeline is stupid anyways.
Well, of course it is.
I mean, I get the presence or the concept of, like, you know, if there's a leak, like, you know, the environmental damage it can do. I mean, I get it and I understand all that. But to sit there to say that we don't need it is stupid.
Well,
it's beyond
stupid. And to keep delaying it is stupid. But like China, Canada and Russia stand a really good chance of becoming the next world superpowers if we just, you know, get on top of this and ignore the U.S. Stop just don't deal with Trump for the next 4 years. Just deal with China and Russia and get something done on our own. And we're going to come out way ahead of the game here.
Well, I think that'd be great because I think one of the things that the world needs to do, I think the entire world just needs to cut the U.S. out.
Yeah, exactly. And I said, one of the things I said was, you know, I wish I had learned Chinese instead of French in high school because it would really come in handy when you guys take over. And he said, we're not taking over. He said, if we wanted to, we would have.
Nice.
He said, they own the American debt. They own the American debt. They can take over the states whenever they want. They don't want to. It's a crap country. They don't want it.
would absolutely love to hear about all of a sudden China owns the U.S.
Right.
Because I remember when that was a big thing, when it was first brought to the attention of the public over the fact that China owns the American debt. And if they ever decide at any point in time to turn around and knock on the U.S. door and say, yeah, we're here to collect, the U.S. is fucked.
Oh, definitely, 100%. And I think they're going to want to really think twice about this Iranian invasion. Invasion, sorry.
Invasion, yeah.
It's not going to do them well at all.
And I'm still trying to figure out what the point of this is. Like, didn't they just go through this with fucking Bush Jr.?
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's the thing. They never leave loose ends. It's just a grudge match. They've been wanting to go to Iran since the Oliver North days, really.
Yeah, but for what? It just doesn't make sense. If you're doing it just for the oil, even then that doesn't make sense because the U.S. is still one of the largest producers of oil.
Right. Well, it's clearly Israeli linked, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'd have to assume so.
That's the only thing is to make the Israelis happy.
And that's the thing I really don't understand.
Why
is anybody pandering to them?
And no one will explain it to me. I don't understand it.
Well, the only thing that makes sense is just money. This is the only thing that they're good for. They're good for money, and that's it.
Yeah, but how terrible and stereotypical and rotten is that? I mean, that's bordering on maybe we took the wrong side in World War II kind of territory.
Well, yeah, which we all, it's a borderline tough issue to state, but yeah,
exactly. That's why I know. That's why I cut myself off too. But if that's the case, they're gonna end the world. Maybe somebody was onto something.
Huh.
If we go to nuclear war because America has got a big hard-on for Israel, that's going to be, people are going to be like, shit, we had a chance to do something about this and we didn't.
Huh.
That's a weird thought, eh? That's just, that's where Eric and Gord just would get, we can't get too much into, I don't know enough about it to say. But I would hate to think that that's a thing that might be thought, if that sentence makes any sense whatsoever. But this is what I mean by this gentleman. I talked to him for all of 45 minutes, and he just tore my fucking life apart in the best possible way. That's what I said.
Everything you thought you knew.
That's what you and I have been preaching for the last 2 months, right? Find your truth. Get out there and find the truth. Talk to someone, And I'm not sure that what I got from this gentleman was completely the truth. He could just be very pro-communist, and But I've found a new vessel to explore, and I will. Now I have to go back and reassess the things I've said about China in the last year and see maybe perhaps Gord was wrong.
Well, we all know that can't be true. That can't happen.
I wasn't going to say the other way.
I'll shut this fucking podcast down if that's true.
Hey, you know what? The show has a new associate producer who can take the blame for everything now. So really, Adrian Segura was wrong the whole time.
Yeah, see, Adrian, way to go, buddy. You fucked everything up.
He's clearly misled us. This is what happens when your staff gets too big. I knew it. I knew we expanded too quickly.
We get one person involved. That's it. Motherfucker screwed us.
The whole thing just falls apart.
That's great.
God
no, actually, I do have a question about Adrian now. So what is his primary role?
Basically, the half-silent partner, kind of. He'll critique and suggest things and offer segment ideas. Content contributor, pretty much.
Okay.
And he gets to have his guest spot whenever he feels like it. He can just call up and go, "I'm doing a guest spot tonight," and we just have to say that's okay.
Oh, because that's something we just say no to, anyways. You know what I mean?
Right. So very excited to have him on the show. quickly. I think we'll do a live one with him because we can actually do it properly now, and that I think that he's better in that format.
Yeah.
And then we.
By the way, I'm about to. I should be able to get the Wi-Fi password for the cemetery, for the crematorium, so I might be able to go back to the cemetery, so no more background car noise.
That's the creepiest, awesome news ever.
Right. Words only that I could say. Get away with it.
Is that the Milton whatever cemetery that I keep getting messages to like?
The Milton Evergreen Cemetery.
Yeah. That's
You're
awesome.
getting things to like that page, really?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great that's
who sent you the request for it?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to who sends me stuff.
You should look at that because I'd be very interested to find out because I wonder if it's who I think it is. That'd be too fucking funny because he just got a guy I know just got the job there. He's now like high up on the cemetery board.
Okay, that's probably who it is.
Which is ironic because his father, by the way, was I think he still is a minister.
Oh, really?
Yeah, great. I mean, the whole family is just amazing. They're one of the true, genuine, nicest people on the planet, and they're truly God's people. There's just no getting around. I don't even know how to actually else to word it. They are just the definition of if God actually designed people, he designed them after these guys.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And he's a minister and he runs the cemetery? Is that the...
No, his father was the minister that briefly worked for my family at the monument company, and the guy I'm speaking about, because I'm not sure if I should mention his name, so I'm not going to at the moment. He... after his father left, worked for the business, he ended up coming in and working for my parents for a while, and then left to do something else, and then now he just accepted the position over at the cemetery board. So
I see. Very cool.
Yeah, because I also got a thing to say. Oh, here, like the Milton Evergreen Cemetery. I'm like, hey, how am I not already? Because I'm in there all the time, so I should already like it. But so I liked it for the first time, and interested to see if they're going to start having a. Because how does the cemetery have a social media presence? You know what I mean? Like, come and look at our stiffies.
Do they don't know how that. Do they have like a media person that we could have on the show?
I am gonna find out.
Find out if there's someone there we could interview. That'd be really cool, actually. Because it's a very interesting industry.
It's a deadly industry.
Woo!
I can do this all night, folks.
You can. You will.
I got the death puns everywhere, so yeah.
Another thing, I don't know if it's going to help or hurt us, but we have severed ties with Google. ericandgord.com is no longer a Google domain. I bought it and made it officially not theirs, so they no longer control me. It cost a little bit of money I didn't have, but it felt dirty having them as my domain keeper.
Yeah.
So that's done.
Oh, okay.
Other exciting interviews coming up. Not just Adrian, the new associate producer of What If We're Right. We have also got Craig Stadler coming up. I'm super crazy stoked to speak to this man. He is the gentleman who started, it's pdvid.com, which is the...
Why have I heard of that?
Because it's the first and only possible successor to YouTube. It's the alternative to YouTube and the only one that's ever made an impression. And it's getting very popular because YouTube's decided to start censoring the shit out of people, and YouTube content creators are not happy about it. And they're looking to jump ship in... mass exodus, and pdvid.com is where they're all jumping to. So he actually requested a guest spot on our show.
Oh, that's cool.
So we're going to have him in the next little while. Very, very cool. And I also got the CEO of Blueberry, who I've been chatting with here and there.
Yes, that'll be a good one to have.
He's going to give us a couple of minutes when he can find it in his schedule too. So some actual real interviews coming up this next little say quarter, if you will. I don't know what a quarter is, but that'll be our quarter. We don't really have a beginning or end to our year, so we can't really say what a quarter is. But
Our fiscal year is when we decide it to be.
Our fiscal year will be when I make some goddamn money.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't really call it a fiscal year when I'm just hemorrhaging every dime we have on laptops.
That is definitely true.
It's embarrassing. It's been terrible. You wouldn't even believe. I'm not going to bore the listeners with the story, but it started with one bad decision and just went to a series of people lying to me, and I've literally in the last week had, I believe it was 7 laptops that all for various reasons didn't work. But I was one guy lied to me 4 times, and then on the 4th time I said, "Dude, like seriously, you did it again." And he goes, "Yeah, so I'm the one who loses on every time. I got to pay for these. What I think every time I give you a new one, it costs me money." I'm like, well, "Make the first one work, you fucking idiot! What the hell's wrong with you?"
Yeah, what part of bad business do you not understand? What the hell?
He said, "You're not losing out, I am." I'm like, "Dude, my time is worth so much more than your life. You have no idea."
Yeah.
I was going to... One of them was a very heavy old Dell, like 2004. The thing was a boat anchor, and I just really thought about beating him with it, but I would have got nothing.
It's funny because that's still newer than my home computer, so...
Yeah, well, you know what? It was actually good. It was one of the few that worked, but it was so old it wouldn't run anything we use to do our show.
Which is what my computer is good for.
It wouldn't even do Facebook Messenger. That was too much.
Oh, yeah. No, my computer can't even handle Facebook in general, let alone Messenger.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to have to once the new social media phenomenon is launched this summer when I get back to working on that. Because I am going to give Facebook a run for their money.
Absolutely.
People
are always looking to jump ship off of Facebook as it is anyways, because they don't like the idea of the stealing of your information.
Right, and now I can do the StreamYard thing through my social media page. I don't need them anymore. I don't need Facebook Live anymore, so I can do that. That's going to be cool. I'm thinking of calling it Scavenger Hunt.
Because your last name's Hunt and you're a scavenger.
Right? And it's like we're scavenging awesomeness and stealing it from Facebook.
You want to steal from me? Goose is good for the gander, motherfucker.
And also, I'll announce it because I started it last night. And as of yet, unnamed site, a la Let Go, that I'm launching. Under my tutelage, it'll be just for the downtown Eastside Hastings street market. Anything that people are selling there, they can sell on a Craigslist-like, kind of an eBay-type site. Run and managed by myself with no outside influences, and they can just put their stuff up on there and sell it. So if it doesn't sell at the market, it might sell online for a better price. So that's awesome for people in the area who are trying to make a buck. And a lot of people are genuinely trying to make a living doing it legitimately, and it's difficult out there. So,
yeah, no denying.
Once again, I've stepped up.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, it's just going to be an insanely busy time.
And as per usual, you'll be doing all of it, and I'm just going to sit back and reap the benefits.
Exactly. Ooh. Well, I'm just reading my insane amount of emails while I speak to you about this, because I just got the email saying your domain name, ericandgord.com, has been transferred successfully. You can now manage your domain yourself in your customer area. That is fantastic. Best
that is awesome.
And
you should print that off and that'll be our first official certificate that's going to go on the wall when we get an office.
It's very cool, and that comes with 1 year free registration. So we're now registered until the end of 2021, I think it is.
That's cool. I use some play around time to be able to bring up funds to pay for a continuation.
That's not to say we have to keep the site the way it looks or anything. That's all up to me now, though. I have now complete control over it, and whereas Google could have stepped up if they wanted to and told me I can't do this or I can't do that, or Whatever. Now they can't. Take that, Google.
Speaking of Google, by the way, so there's I don't know if you caught this. I don't think you have. You've been too busy dealing with all this other crap. But apparently, a person got to sit down and talk to one of the top people at Google, a woman. No, I'm not going to be able to say her name because I'm never that prepared for anything.
Call her Betty Google.
What's that?
Betty Google.
Yeah, so Google will tell us. But apparently, they talked about the fact that basically that Google dropped the ball in 2016 by allowing Trump to become president.
By allowing?
By allowing. So they are going to be... Google is doing everything in its power to make sure that Trump does not become president by doing nothing but allowing all searches, everything come out, and only being against Trump, not allowing any of the truth of Trump to come out.
Well, see, I automatically hate that very, very much.
Yeah, and then it's an open, admitted, caught on camera, clearly stating this.
That is, I know they do that. We all know they do that, but that's brutal. And
to have it on camera stating it,
I don't want him.
Insane.
I don't want to see him as the president for the next 4 years. I absolutely don't. I don't think I could be more clear about that. But you can't manipulate it like that. That's when I get speechless. You know when I'm pissed off because I got nothing to say.
Yeah. Right?
Then there's no point in democracy. Why doesn't Google just tell us who the next president should be, and we'll just go with that?
Well, that is pretty much exactly... Basically what they want to do is they won't tell you who to vote for, but they'll tell you who not to vote for.
Well... That's that lovely thing about politics that I enjoy so much.
Right? Don't vote for this guy. I'm not going to say you should vote for this guy.
Yeah,
but don't vote for this guy.
I can't tell you to vote for this guy. But
here's what's wrong with everybody else.
I'm not going to say
good.
Yeah. I don't know for sure that voting for him causes cancer, but there have been studies. I'm just saying. A lot of people who voted for Trump the first time got tested for cancer in the last 4 years. Just saying.
Just putting that out there. Not saying there's a link. I'm just saying that there's a link.
There may be no link, but a lot of people have died in the last 4 years. How many of them voted for Trump? Do you want to die? No, me either. Maybe just...
I don't want to chance it.
It could be something there. I'm not saying it's there, but, they're not saying it's not.
See, I don't think they would ever actually come out and say, I don't think it's there. They would just say, we heard, or there is a study being done about this. Just letting you know.
And they'll just stand up and say, hey, Google it.
Yeah, and they'll say, if you don't believe us, Google it. It will show up on Google because that's what we release out to the public.
But really, what are they going to do in a press conference? We have our heads so far up their asses. Like, if we said, hey, are you manipulating Google? They'd say, well, how would you know?
No, it's true.
The only way to find out is to Google that shit. So, bye.
Now, for those of you who want to avoid Google and everything that they want, if you're looking for a little more of an honest search engine, apparently GoDaddy is the one to use.
I've heard, and there's also going to be in my package, my cornucopia of delights. We have, Gord, if we have any time to maintain it, we do have access to our own wiki page.
I've always wanted my own wiki page.
Yeah, it's created by us. It's not wiki, like it's not run by wiki. It's just that style, and it would be by me. It would be Eric Leaks or Eric.
Wikipedia.
What's the original wiki?
Wikipedia.
Yeah, we could have Eric and Gordopedia. Eric and Gordopedia.
Eric and Gordopedia.
We could have that. We can actually do that. I can launch that tonight, and it would be a thing. And you can contribute. It looks the same. Like it totally steals the look, and It looks just like Wiki, but it's Eric and Gordopedia. I can do that.
Oh, that's spectacular.
I can set that up while we're talking. There's all kinds of stuff I can do now. It's great. I can start my own dating site.
What's it called again? On the Hunt?
The Hunt for Love.
The Hunt for Love. There it is.
And you know how I'm going to learn how to do this, all kids. If you want to join me tomorrow, June 27th, at the GCP Fundamentals for AWS Professionals seminar. It's a day-long seminar about how to use...
I actually thought you were going to say you're going to go on Google.
No, I'm going to go on Google. No, I got invited to AWS Professionals because I'm an AWS professional, apparently. I have no idea what the hell that is, but I'm one of them, and I'm good at it. Not a clue. But I got invited to this seminar, and it's free lunch, so I'm in. It's how to network over Google Cloud, build with GCP, logging onto Quick Labs, scaling and load balancing, isolating instances and apps. I have no idea what this shit is. Deployment and monitoring. Using storage as a service and database as a service. I don't know what this is. But working with VM instances. I don't know what a VM is. I'm going to have to look up what VM is. Sorry?
Is it a bowel movement?
It could be. You know what? I'm going to look that up right now because I really, if it's some freaky deaky thing I'm getting into.
Turns out Eric's getting into Shiza videos.
But I got invited to this thing for AWS professionals because that's what I am.
Is this something you signed up for?
Yeah, they sent me an email and said, hey, do you want to sign up for this? I said, well, yeah, of course I do.
I'll sign up for anything.
Well, anything with a free lunch.
Well, yeah, that's just a given.
It's for Amazon contributors. It's Amazon professionals, apparently.
Oh, okay.
AWS Professional Services Cloud Infrastructure. I'm a cloud infrastructure architect. I help build the cloud. That's how awesome I am.
Impressively interesting.
It was when I started messing around with all these websites. They saw me and they said, "Now this kid knows what he's doing. Like, we got to get him." Clearly,
we need to get this guy on our side.
We need this Hunt on board before someone else snaps him up. I believe was the way the thinking went on that one. So they invited me to their little seminar. So anyone, I guess you can come with me. I'm allowed a guest. So 8:15 is registration. 8:15 a.m. at some swanky place downtown. Waterview. I don't know what Waterview is. That at the? I don't know, but it'll be interesting. I might learn some shit about the things that I do because I don't know what I do. Sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't. But this might teach me.
Take notes.
Yeah, I'll take some notes and I'll learn some shit maybe. Or I'll have a really hard time understanding 8 words they say. I'll eat some lunch and duck out early.
Either way.
But it should be really fun. I'm excited about it. Like I said, the NMFA approach to everything now. I'm going to try to take something from everything. You know what I mean? Try to gain something instead of just treading water like I've been doing for the last year and a half.
Well, I am all for it.
Right? It could be good for us. Oh, what was I looking up? VM. What's VM? That's VM instances. That sounds important.
Oh,
let's find
sounds
out
very professional.
VM instances. What is this thing that I'm doing? Here we go. VM instances. Ooh, it's like virtual shit. Hang on. Virtual machine instances. Okay, well then. You can create an instance. Oh! I'm learning how to create like virtual reality.
Oh, goody. That's what we need.
I
always thought that virtual reality was only good for porn. I didn't realize it was good for anything else.
Well, it's good for Eric and Gord porn now. I can learn how to control an instance as a virtual machine hosted on Google's... Oh, shit. You can create an instance using the Google Cloud platform. I can create like my own holodeck.
Oh my god, you can do guest appearances all over the world without leaving your house.
I'm going to have a virtual... Oh, difference between a virtual machine and an instance is Stack Overflow. Okay, now I'm lost. I have no idea, but I'm going to make virtual shit, and that's cool. No, we won't need drugs anymore. We'll have virtual drugs.
I hope they're better than the real thing. I mean,
this is what I'm learning, how to create an emulation of a computer system, guest operating system environments running the same. Oh, this is cool. I don't understand anything I just read, but it sounds awesome. And it could significantly reduce up to 72% of my cost.
wow.
Ooh.
Does it give you free laptops?
Google Instance Terraform. Oh. Google cloud-based virtual machines. How cool does that sound? I'm going to make a virtual machine. Deploys in minutes. $300 free trial. What? I'm in. I love free trials. I will do any free trial you throw at me.
Don't do the free trial until you know something more about it so you can actually utilize it.
I do. Oh, yeah. There's so many that I start. I have no idea. All the animation suites I did. I made a box. Took 2 weeks to make a 3D animated box that fell.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It fell.
Yeah, it fell from it. You could lift it up and it would fall. And that was what that box did. And then I made the freaky mutant Eric and Gord's. That was pretty cool.
That was definitely cool.
I actually made better ones after that, but it was only a free trial. I wasn't allowed to send them to you. Those ones I would pay for. They looked really good. But this is the shit I'm learning. Sorry, I know it's boring to you guys, but it's awesome to me that I can learn this stuff, and this can all become part of what Eric and Gord use in their arsenal of teaching, getting the truth out to you. If we have to use virtual reality to show you real reality, I want to be able to be capable of doing that.
Wow, that is a fucked up statement on its own fucking thought.
Yeah, right?
Using virtual reality to show you reality.
Yeah, it's getting to that point.
We just found our tagline for it.
If you're going to have your head buried in the device, a la the humans in WALL-E, then I'm going to have to figure out ways to show up on that device and get you off of it. And get you back in the real world, into my groups.
And back into our world where we will teach you the truth.
We have that kid. Hey, kids, if you haven't been over to visit the official, really, actual, real, whatever the fuck, the Globe Earthers page that I started and now completely neglect, we've been getting some genuine questions from genuine people on there, and it's been really cool and fun, and I've tried to answer in genuine, intelligent ways. I saw
the last one. I went to comment and got distracted by something else and totally forgot about it.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he asked a real question, and I had to give a real answer, and that was neat. I love that, guys. Keep that up. Ask us questions about anything, and we will give you real answers. It doesn't always have to be about Trump and Trudeau. It could be about anything. Ask me about construction. I love answering construction questions. Bring your questions, Eric and Gordon. Get truth, get honesty, get real answers, especially you youngins out there. And by the way, something that happened to me on our week off, which was nothing like a vacation whatsoever. Some little arrogant son of a bitch, prick bastard, offered me his seat on the bus.
Oh.
I'm that old, apparently, that this prick on his way to college, to Cap College, this little sperm piece, son of a bitch, sir, would you like my seat? No.
You officially look old.
In no universe am I old enough for you to, sir, would you like my seat to me? No, fuck you, you little prick. I will fucking let my arthritic leg snap before I ever admit to that, you son of a bitch. Sir on its own is bad enough, all right? I am not prepared to be sir. But, sir, do you need to sit down? You look tired, you old bastard. Fuck you. I'm not that old. Gord, are we that old?
Yeah, we are.
Ah, Jesus Christ. When did that happen?
I'll even admit it. As soon as we hit 40.
Why didn't somebody tell me?
Because we've been too busy ignoring it and trying to be youthful.
Yeah, well, that's true. And I've known for a few years that I'm not youthful. Like, I can't pull it off. I try to be cool, and I get a lot of eye rolls and giggles from people because I'm not cool anymore. And that sucks.
Oh, by the way, folks, if you guys are ever on Facebook or whatever, and you come across a one of those links that send you out to answer these questions that will tell you something about yourself, whatever. And you find one of those, and it says, "Are you too old to go to clubs?" If you click on that link, you're too old to go to a club.
That's right. Yeah, that's very, very true.
There's your answer. There's your answer.
Although they are good practice for when you get to be our age, because being in a nightclub is just like being our age. You can't hear shit. People are standing right in front of you talking, and you can't make out what they're saying. Music sucks all the time. That's if you want to practice being old, go to a nightclub.
Yeah.
Bunch of women won't talk to you. Everything's way more expensive than you remember it being. And you can't hear anything, and you don't like the music, and you wish you hadn't gone. That's your 40s as far as I've learning, now that I've just crossed into 41-dom.
Yeah, well, wait till you get to my fucking ripe age of fucking almost 45.
I'm not doing it.
I'm going to be 45 next month, dude.
I'm not doing it. I'm going the other way. I'm going backwards. I'm figuring out a way to reverse it. I'm stopping. That's it. 41's the end of the road for me.
So that means next year you're going to be 40.
Yeah, I'll figure. I'm going to figure that out. And you can't say I'm not, because that's how I choose to identify.
Speaking of, by the way, in Scotland or Ireland. I'm going to say Scotland. I can't remember which one. I think it was Scotland. A student got suspended for 3 weeks because the teacher in his class had started talking about gender and how many different genders there are, and the kid said, actually, that's wrong. There's only two. Scientifically, biologically speaking, there's only two. Anything else is just self-identification. That doesn't make it a gender. And the teacher got mad at him for it and said, basically, you're not allowed to form your opinion. And then afterwards, because initially he was just getting in sort of trouble for talking out, but then the kid recorded the conversation with the teacher, specifically to release to the media, because he knew this teacher was out of his fucking mind.
Of course.
And the conversation is pretty funny because the kid says, I still don't even understand why I'm in trouble. I haven't done anything wrong. He says, well, yeah, you said that what you said was discrimination. He says there's nothing discriminatory about it. It's a scientific fact. It is proven science fact that there are only two genders. Anything else is self-identification. That's not science. That's an emotional state.
Sure. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And the teacher starts getting mad at him for it, saying, well, you can't say that because that's just your opinion. He says, yeah, but you're stating what your opinion is. The teacher says, no, this is what the school's policy is.
Well, see,
but the policy isn't based off of fact. He goes, just because a policy isn't based off of fact or science doesn't make it less of a policy.
Yeah, but policy doesn't.
That's the problem.
Policy is not truth. You know what I mean? Policy is not fact. Policy is decided upon and agreed upon. It's not the way things are. See, this is where things go so far to the opposite side that they start to sound religious. When you're not allowed to state science in school, then that's where it starts being like Christianity. You know what I mean? When you go too far the other direction, then you're just a zealot like they are, and that's equally wrong. I'm sorry, you can't just preach these things and then all of a sudden that's the way it is. There aren't there are two genders. Yes, and I don't begrudge anyone their identity. I don't care if you identify as a fucking fruit salad. I don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, you are either a boy or a girl. Sorry, that's fact. You could change that. You could change. If you're a boy, you could become a girl. If you're a girl, you could become a boy. But you're still one of the two. I don't give a shit what you call yourself on Pride Week. Yeah. Sorry, and I don't mean to offend you, but that's like saying LARPers need rights. Right? We got to start recognizing LARPers now for their whatever role playing they do in the woods with their dork friends.
No.
No, wait, you're not Zelda. You're not.
No.
And I'm not going to call you Zelda at work. Take off the fucking cloak and go stock the shelves.
Am I allowed to identify as a multi-billionaire, so therefore I don't have to worry about paying for things because it should already be paid for me since I identify as a super rich person?
Sure, exactly. I can start doing that everywhere I go. Oh, well, now I identify as a handicapped person. I want the handy dart to pick me up tomorrow morning and drive me to my seminar. I want a free wheelchair. I want a free electric wheelchair. I now identify as handicapped.
Yeah, see, and this is the problem with this because, again, I completely agree with this kid just because it just... To anybody that is going to stand up and argue the fact of saying there's more than one gender, you need to go back to school, you need to take a science class, and you need to take fucking notes and pay attention.
Exactly.
You're wrong. There are only two. Technically three if you're born a hermaphrodite and you have both sexes. Then you're on your own little sort of subgenre thing on that side.
But
I'll just read that.
You ultimately have to choose one or the other, even in that scenario for health and wellness. You do end up choosing one or the other at some point, if nature doesn't choose for you. So,
what your sexual preference is does not dictate what your gender is.
No, exactly.
That makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense.
No,
at all. There's no logic to that at all in the slightest.
And if that's the way it's moving, like if this is what kids genuinely believe now, we got some issues, and we have to get a health class going, get a science class happening, something.
See, all it tells me is that it just tells me that these kids have too much time on their hands. They're not interacting enough. They're not part of the social construct. They're not part of anything.
No.
Spend too much time in a virtual world creating problems where there aren't any.
This is what millennials will be known for. I promise you. Millennials will be known for creating idiotic problems, and they are going to have the most confused, frightened children. The offspring of millennials are going to be a disaster if they're raised to believe this shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're going to be unvaccinated, vegan, and completely sexually confused, which doesn't matter because they're not going to get grades in their science classes anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to be the ones that are going to be changing the. Yeah, well, that's just it. They're going to be the ones turning around and saying, "Well, we don't need to have grades anyways. Whatever answer you give is the right answer."
Well, of course it is, and it doesn't matter anyway because I identify as a straight A student.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care what my test papers show.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what that says because I identify as a straight A student. All of my answers are correct. I identify as that.
Yeah, like, where does it end? That was the first thing you asked last summer.
Yeah.
Where how far does this go? And God damn it, if it's not already gone way farther than it should have. And I don't think anyone should be ridiculed, harassed, or otherwise intimidated for their sexual identity at all.
No.
But there is a time and a place to put your sexual identity in check and be a professional, be a citizen, be a whatever you have to be for the betterment of society and for yourself ultimately. It can't just be a big fetish club out there.
No. Let me put it to you guys this. It's very, very, very simple. Okay? You go to the doctor. Okay? You're going for your checkup. Now, you have two choices. You put yourself in the stirrups and have your vagina checked as a female, or you get your balls cupped and told to cough as a guy. That's it. That's as far as it goes. Because if you're a woman, if you have a vagina, you're a woman, you have a vagina, and you're saying, no, I identify as a man, and you're turning around and you're going to a doctor and saying, cup my balls because I'm a guy, and the doctor says, but you don't have any balls, and you say, but I'm a guy, that's how I identify, you need to just stop.
Yeah. And
stop. I want to tell you to eat a bullet. It's cruel and mean because I shouldn't have to say that. But if you firmly think that what I just said makes sense to you, you're dumb.
Well, and
you're very dumb. You have major fucking problems. You need to stop.
You know, when I said how long is it going to be before a guy takes advantage of this and identifies as a woman, and then like 5 minutes later, that guy in Calgary did it to save money on his insurance.
Yep.
In this scenario, how long do we wait before an instance of cervical cancer is overlooked because someone's in her doctor's office insisting she's a guy, and then next thing you know, she's got cervical cancer because she denied that she had a fucking cervix and didn't get her pap smear or whatever, and then she dies because she was, oh, I'm a dude. Well, no, you weren't a dude, and now you died from a girl disease because you're an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Stupidity.
It is. It's, and as I said, I'm all for your rights. I'm a proud supporter. I march in your parade with you, but smarten the fuck up when it push comes to shove. You know, you have family that care about you. You have possibly children that you're raising. You don't die for this shit. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And don't raise a bunch of ignorant kids who are kids believe what we tell them. That's our job, is to tell them the truth. And they grow up believing it. And if you start feeding your kids this shit now, and God forbid my kids, you're going to have the next generation of people who are taking care of us when we're too old to take care of ourselves. The ones that are going to be looking after us are going to be invalids.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want that. I don't want a retard changing my diapers.
Oh, hang on. I got something I got to talk about.
And by retard, I mean someone who's mentally retarded.
Yeah.
So you know, just cutting through the haze there for anyone who might have been offended by that.
Just in case.
Don't I have a sound effect?
I don't know, but I won't be able to hear it.
Oh, I got this one.
Okay.
This applies.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
Yes.
Okay, hang on. I gotta change the topic for a second.
Yeah, I got a topic I want to talk about before we're done too.
Okay. Yes, I have to bring up Trump, but it's not about Donald Trump for once. So, Eric Trump, his son.
Yes.
He is claiming that he was spit on by an employee at a fancy restaurant.
That's right.
That he was at.
I didn't follow up on that, but I did hear about it.
Oh, hang on a second. So, that girl that I told you about before when I posted the Bachelorette chick.
Yes.
Okay, she commented. She's the one who shared it, and she commented. She goes, "Are they really surprised? Wake up." So this was her comment. So I went on a bit of a thing, and I said, "I'm confused. Why is it okay to spit in the face of someone? I thought that liberals were supposed to be understanding and nice. I guess not. I'm disappointed." Person in question. I didn't think that you would condone this type of behavior. Imagine if someone spit in your face because of their perception of you instead of your direct actions against them. How would you feel? If he had spit in the face of someone else, you would be up in arms asking for his arrest. Right? True statement.
True.
Right?
Agreed.
No, so I had a bunch of people that jumped all over me, some that were in full agreement with me, a couple of people that weren't.
Anyone who wants to jump all over Gord, feel free to jump all over at Gord at ericandgord.com. Or better yet, fill out the request on our contact page and be on the show and call him out in person.
That's right.
We are glad to have you on any time, whether you agree or disagree with us. Even all the better if you disagree, actually. Carry on.
So, one girl. Yeah, these people I'm actually going to call out by name because fuck you. Kathy Dunn. Fuck you, bitch. Kathy Dunn.
You're done.
You're done, Kathy Dunn. She actually comes in. She goes, the Trump family figuratively spit on the people on a daily basis. Minorities, other leaders, women, etc. Just because it isn't wet doesn't make their actions and impacts any less disgusting. All right? So she sort of goes on. So I said, so again, you condone this behavior. Because she goes, one of the things that she mentioned, she talked about policies, discussing acts that he's done for policies and rules. And I said, how many policies did he make? How many laws did he create? You may not like his father, but to think that he deserves it is just wrong. I mean, I don't like anything about the family, but to spit in his face because of his father's action, that's just so messed up. And this guy turns around, this guy Mark Elliot, fuck you, Mark, says, what makes you think it was a liberal, idiot? Now let's think about this for just a moment. A Republican, son of the president, gets spit in the face, and this guy thinks that there's a chance that it was another Republican that did it.
Does it matter? What's with the finger pointing? What's with the blame game? You don't spit on someone. I don't give a shit if you're liberal, conservative, or a filthy communist. I don't care. It's wrong. It doesn't matter who the fuck did it. Do you really think it was a liberal? I don't give a shit.
Right. It doesn't matter.
You should be condemning whoever spit on another human being.
See, I used liberal in my statement. I didn't directly say the guy was a liberal. I called out the girl who posted this because I know she's a liberal. And she's condoning the action.
Exactly.
So this is where I said, you as representing a liberal are condoning this action, much like half these comments in here are all condoning the action. You're a bunch of fucking hypocrites. So I called that out, right?
Absolutely.
And, one of my favorite was this guy, David Laidlaw. This guy's a genius. Keep in mind, I did not post this post. Nowhere about this do I talk about the fact statement of whether it actually happened or not. My thing is my point is, and this is what I repeatedly always say, is somebody spit in somebody else's face, and you're condoning the action.
Yes, which is what I've gotten from that, from your whole segment here. Yes.
So this guy says, Gord String, nowhere have I seen where he was supposedly spit on. If you found a definitive source, please post it for me, please. And I just replied back, I don't care if it happened or not. The fact that people support this type of action is what's so wrong. Don't point your finger at me for posting the link. I had nothing to do with it. I was merely expressing how disgusting and hypocritical the supporters of spitting in someone's face is. Right? Simple. Now,
I can't wait to hear.
Now, Mark Elliot has just commented back, literally a few hours ago, he just commented back, and he said, Gord, you're an idiot. Crawl back into your mom's basement, bud.
Wow. He listens to the show.
He clearly must, because accurate thing, because you know where I live. But my question is, again, why am I an idiot? You've given 0 point to your obvious bad reference to anything by simply just name calling.
Yeah, that's the liberal way.
That's the liberal way. I can't wait. I have to decide. I have to clear my head for a moment before I make an actual reply, because I got to call him out directly on this.
And again, let me reiterate. Please feel free to come talk to Gord on the show about this. We're happy to have you, and we won't call you names and shoot you down. We will let you have your side of the argument. And that's just true. I've been saying that since day one of this show, since long before Gord came along to piss everybody off. Also, something I have to make very, very clear, and I say this in just about every old episode if you go back and listen, if there's anything you don't want said about you on the show, please specify in your posts, when you're posting on Facebook, when you're posting on Twitter, when you're sending us an email. If there's something that's off limits that can't be talked about, say so, and we will respect your wishes. If you don't tell me not to say it, I'm going to, including your name. So... if you're going to make a bold statement like that, you have to be willing to back it up.
That's right. And by the way,
but
just
I will
to
respect your wishes if
right.
you say, please don't name me when you talk about me. And that's fine. We will do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I will not name you out specifically with that, no.
But if you don't tell us not to, then you're saying it's okay.
To give an idea about this Mark Elliot, you fucking giving guys with beards a bad fucking name, you twat. He actually posted a picture on this saying it's a bunch of dudes in a room, clearly nobody talking, everybody's on a different game, everybody's on their computers, and it says, this is the kind of party I want to be invited to. You see, you're part of the problem. Do you think that by playing a game, you're being social, that you're part of a social construct, that you're actually doing something, that you're doing anything? You're not doing anything.
What you're doing is distracting people and distracting from the issues. And this is why our two countries are where they are right now. Stop being idiots. Stop with the mudslinging and the stupidity. And, fuck off. Solve the problem. Be part of the fucking solution. We have real problems happening here, and we get nowhere. We've gotten nowhere in 20 years with this way of just pointing out the worst in each other and then voting for the least shitty one. And then we wonder why our lives are shitty.
Yeah. And to give an idea, this is one of these guys that actually thinks that boomers tricked us into obtaining a $20,000 in student loan debt. Tricked you. You got tricked into this. Because you didn't know what you were signing up for when you signed a contract with a fucking bank to get a loan that you knew you had to pay off. You can't tell me that you did not know. If you did know what you're get yourself into, you're a fucking idiot. So you weren't tricked into getting this fucking debt. You were not tricked into this. This was not something that you thought you would just go to school for free and then somebody handed you a bill after going, oh, by the way, because every year you have to re-sign up for this.
If you want to claim that as a defense, I will accept it as valid if you can convince me and a court of law that you were mentally incompetent. You weren't mentally capable of understanding that contract. You're handicapped. You're mentally challenged. That's the only way I accept that you were tricked. That you're genuinely I don't even know. I made so much fun of it. I don't even know what the PC term is. But if you could prove that you were mentally incompetent and that's your stance, I'll accept it. Your stance has to be, I'm sorry, I'm actually retarded, and I got tricked.
Yeah. I didn't know any better. No. Yeah, but you did. You don't care. You're a fucking idiot. You're looking for excuses.
You're riding the short bus to work for the rest of your life.
That's it.
You have to identify as a retard from now on, if that's your stance, that you got tricked into going to school.
And the rest of this guy's statement, by the way,
you got shortchanged by the idiots that you voted for. Not because your parents tricked you. The people that you vote for don't respect you. They're the ones tricking you.
That's where you got screwed.
Retard.
So here's this whole statement.
Now I want to spit on this guy.
Hang on. Yeah, right? Boomers tricked us into obtaining a $20,000+ in student loan debt, only to try to pay us $15 an hour upon graduation due to entry-level status. Then want us to gain 8+ years of experience before giving us real raises, all while charging $1,200 a month, $1,200 plus a month for 875 square foot apartment. Okay, first of all, I was paying almost $1,500. Actually, I'll give you a better one. I was paying $1,900 for 625 square feet.
Yeah.
$1,900 for 625 square feet.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And for the record, I was only making $15 a fucking hour at the time. And I was fucking in my 40s.
This is exactly what the Trudeau government wants. This is people who make $400 an hour convincing people that make $30 an hour that people that make $15 an hour are whiners.
Oh, and by the way, the most stressed people on earth are the 18 to 33-year-olds. Really? Really? You're more stressed. You're under much more stress than what I'm under as a 45-year-old.
I was a very successful young person. I kind of went the opposite way on that in my older years. But I can say, even as a business owner, a homeowner, and a husband, the most stress I had when I was 22 was how I was going to get 6 Jaeger bombs down before the cab showed up.
Right?
You have no stress. You don't know stress before you're 33. That shouldn't even be in your vocabulary until you're 33. Yeah. It should be a punishable by fine to even use that word inappropriately.
Exactly. I fully agree. You have no idea what stress is like. Do you want to know what stress is like? You want to know, you little fucking snot-nosed piece of shit, what stress is really like? Try being a single fucking mom at the age of fucking 40 nowadays.
Right?
Trying to raise fucking children on your own with no fucking support and help from the father of the kids. You want to know stress? Try to find out what it's like to lose everything in a fucking divorce and try to start from scratch again at the age of fucking 40 when you have nothing. Try to find out what that's like. End up homeless without having a family to rely on. And tell me how easy it is to get the fuck back out of that. You want to know stress, you snot-nosed little bearded fucking piece of shit? You have no idea. Not a fucking clue what stress is like. I have no idea how much I'm going to fucking make off my next fucking paycheck. And I work more fucking hours than you've been alive. I bust my balls every fucking day. You have no idea what stress is really like. Oh, what am I going to do because I'm like $15 an hour? Fuck you. You want to make fucking more money an hour? Work for it. Yeah. You think I fucking spent my whole fucking life making top dollar my first fucking job I made under $4 an hour. My first job under $4 an hour, $3.90 an hour. I worked for 2 weeks doing 12-hour days for 2 weeks as a 14-year-old kid, part-time. Come home from fucking school, don't even go home from school, go right from school, room right into work till 2 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock at night till 2 o'clock in the morning, the age of 14 in a restaurant. I finished all of that shit at the end of my 2 weeks. You know how much I got? Under $300 by the end of it.
Yep.
$300. At 14 years old, I was pissed off with how much I fucking made. You don't like it? Quit and go somewhere else. That's what I did. I moved. I tried different options. You know fucking stress. You ignorant piece of shit. You have no fucking right to breathe the same fucking oxygen as somebody who actually deals with real stress. You think you got problems? Oh, I got stress. I get nervous about things. You fucking whiny little piece of shit. You've been sucking on mommy's fucking tit your whole fucking life. You have no idea how to stand on your own fucking 2 feet. I moved out the first time when I was fucking 16 years old. Moved out again 17 and 18 because I didn't get it right the first time. And I did it until I got it right at the age of 18. I didn't move back since. I kept it straight. Did what I had to do to survive. I lived in a shop unit for fucking 2.5 years. A shop unit. An actual shop unit for 2.5 years. You know what my kitchen consisted of? A fucking hot plate, a fucking microwave, and a fucking kettle to boil fucking water. That was my kitchen.
That's
And I had to plug that shit in every time. You want to know what my shower was, you little fucking prick? My shower was a garden hose hooked up to a fucking tap, rigged on a ladder, standing on a fucking scrap piece of carpet in the middle of the open shop.
I've been there.
Yeah. You want to talk about fucking stress? Live like that for 2.5 fucking years.
Exactly.
So, Mark Elliot, I hope to God I get the chance to fucking meet you.
There you go, Mark.
Understand one thing. I will beat the fucking fuzz off your fucking face.
Mark, you can always send in your response to Gord at ericgord.com, or even better, join us on the show and respond to what Gord said. I'm not going to add to it or detract from it. I am, however, going to have to end the show on that note because we are well into our time here. Thank you, Gord, for that, by the way. Maybe if I'm the only one to say thank you. It needed to be said, and I very much appreciate it. And you kids can get prepared for a summer of that, because we're back. We're back in a big way. And there's
we are.
Too much has gone unsaid in the last little while. And I've been holding back. I don't know why. Well, there's a couple reasons, but it stops now. NMFA. That's my new slogan.
And clearly I'm not holding back, so fuck.
Absolutely. I'm going to give you one of these. That's right. It's the Ninja Turtles theme song. Heroes in a Half Shell, baby. I would like to plug Radio Public and stuff, but we just don't have time. On behalf of Gord and Eric, I want to thank our new associate producer, Adrian Seger, for all the good things he does for our show. I want to say that we're going to be back in roughly 23 hours to do this again. I'll have a bunch of news from the AWS conference, and a little bit less of a boring episode, but I just wanted you guys to catch up on where we've been. I hope some of you come back to join us again tomorrow. Anybody we lost, I very much apologize for the week that was. It was completely my fault, and it will not happen again. So until tomorrow, take care of each other.
Fuck you, Mark Elliot.
Sorry, buddy.
Not sorry.
Mute enable so you can listen to the playlist in your head. I'm going to turn this off, so... Okay, that's the one I want off. All right. And I want...
Perfect. I can hear you talk, but yeah. Okay. At least somebody is. Good man. Yay!